Titanic.
It's maybe
I
like
Look at that. She just wants to make it an old.
Do you know what's really like?
my mic is gone. Oh no,
Crows.
shit! It's just
Crows are really
panic. I'm gonna be very nice.
No one gives even big crows props, but they are amazing.
Yeah.
Please tell me.
No.
Please? Because I'll never...
Don't ask.
Don't
ask.
I'll never tell.
No.
No matter what.
It's not.
I would die before I told.
It's not that. It's not you telling. Even if you didn't.
I wouldn't.
It's you knowing. It's too awful. But I can't.
But tell me.
No.
Because if you don't, there's this secret between us.
Stop it.
And if there's this secret, we're not...
Please.
We're not close anymore. We can't ever...
But nobody knows everything about...
Yes, but a big secret like this.
It's not such a big...
Then tell me.
Will you stop?
It's big because you won't tell me.
No, I won't.
Is it something you...
Don't start guessing.
Or something you want to do?
Please.
Or is it something you know, like a sin? Or
Please.
Is it something you've done, like a crime? Or is it just embarrassing? Because whichever it is...
No, I don't want you to know.
All right.
All right, I'll tell you.
You don't have to.
I'll tell you.
Yes, because I've always...
It's not that.
And, never...
All right, I'm telling you.
No.
Yes.
No.
I warned you.
But that's...
Yes.
Oh, no, that's...
Yes.
How could you?
I did.
Now what? Now what? Now what?
Why do they need to know all this stuff?
They're doing research. It guides their policy. They use it to help people.
They use it to sell us things we don't want.
No, that's just the people who phone up. I don't answer their questions. I just say, no, thank you. There's no need to swear at them.
I'm messing with now anyway.
Well, you'll get in trouble if you don't do it.
They won't know.
They know you exist.
can't sleep.
Hot milk?
I hate it now.
Book?
Haven't got one I like.
Just lie there and breathe.
My head's too full of stuff. Are you asleep?
No. What? It's fine. You can't sleep.
I'll just get up and go on Facebook. Love him so much.
Love him more than you.
I'd jump out the window.
Eat fire.
Cut off my hands.
Eat dog shit.
Kill my mother.
Eat cat food.
Yuck.
Just to tell him.
Just to touch him.
Oh, just to see him.
Just to have him see me.
He was born at 2:10 in the morning, and I was born at 2:10.
How do you know?
Mom says.
10:02.
She says just after 10, so that's 2.
That isn't 2.
It is 2.
Anyway, I was born on a Tuesday, and he was born on a Wednesday, and you were only born on a Friday.
That's stupid.
His favorite color is blue.
His favorite food is chili.
His favorite animal, snakes.
His favorite holiday was in Bermuda.
What's his favorite smell?
Roses.
You're making that up.
Well, what?
You tell me.
I don't know. You tell me.
I'm asking you.
You don't know.
asking you.
You don't know, do you? Go on. Tell me.
All right. I don't know. So we're going to have to find out.
You mean neither of us know?
It's all right. We'll find out.
I can't believe neither of us.
It's in here somewhere.
I know, I used to know.
Wait.
Is it chicken?
Wait.
You can't find
I
it.
can't.
You're not looking properly.
I can't find it.
Here, let me.
You can't find it.
Wait.
It's not there.
Wait.
See, you can't.
What are we going to do?
We've got to know.
I won't be able to sleep.
What are we going to do?
You don't seem to have a TV.
There used to be one. Well, it stopped working. The reception's no good anyhow.
I brought my laptop.
You might have a reception problem there.
It's not that I need it. There's no phone signal here, is there?
You could go into town. Or I think someone said there's this spot. Go 2 miles up the road and then down towards the cliffs and stand on a rock. You'd have to know it.
You listen to the radio. Does it work?
I did warn you.
I know.
It's quiet here.
I like it quiet.
You could always cycle down and get a newspaper.
It's all right.
I just thought I'd have the time.
Don't you sometimes want a weather forecast?
I want you to be happy here.
I am happy here.
You know, you'll find you can feel if it's raining.
So we hatch a batch of eggs in the lab.
And where do you get them?
From the poultry breeders who supply them to the batteries.
Oh, the intensive.
Yes, or some of them might go to farms. But either way,
So either way, they've got to
yes, by 12 weeks, they'll be plucked and lying on their backs. Oh,
be in the supermarket.
on your table.
So you're not taking the life.
I am taking the life.
Well, even if you didn't, they wouldn't
They
live
wouldn't
to
live to be old chickens, no.
So you've got the chicken.
Oh, about a
And
day old, fluffy, yellow, like little Easter.
And you do some experiments on them.
What we do is we get them to peck.
Because chicks do peck a lot.
They peck at everything. And what we get them to peck are some beads that have been dipped in either water or some stuff that tastes bitter.
Oh, poison.
No, it just makes them wipe their beaks on the floor and then they're all right again. And of course, we're writing all this down. Which chick, which bead, and how many pecks. And then my colleague injects a very tiny amount of a very slightly radioactive fluid into each side of the chick's brain, so...
Oh.
I know, but they don't seem at all.
It doesn't hurt.
I mean, they don't show any.
Okay, so what's it for? It's gonna show up something in their brain.
Because what we've injected has a sugar in it that gets used up by the nerve cells. So the more sugar is taken up, the more brain activity, and then the radioactivity acts as a tracer, like in a scanner. So you can measure that and see exactly where in the brain.
And the idea is different in the different...
Well, what we hope to see is that it's different in the different.
Depending on...
Because we give the chicks the beads again, and they have learned. So the ones that had the water come back and peck again, and the ones that had...
They won't peck it.
The ones that had the bitter beads have learned not to peck it.
That's terrific.
But that's not what we're finding out. What we're finding out is...
Changes in the brain.
Exactly! Which changes in the brain correspond to that memory?
So to do that, you have to...
Yes, I take the chick in my left hand and quickly cut off its head with a big pair of scissors. And then I drop the body in a bucket, and I take the head. I peel back the skin. I cut around the skull. And there's the brain.
There's the brain!
And then I put it in a dish of ice, and my colleague cuts it into slabs with a razor blade, and then he dissects out tiny samples which are put into test tubes and immediately frozen, while meanwhile I'm taking the brain out of the next chick.
Yes.
And that's what I do.
And then you analyse.
Yes, and there's a substantial increase.
So you can measure.
And not just the increase, but exactly where. Because if you slice
Slice the brain.
Slice the frozen brain into thin sections and put it on slides, you get pictures.
You can see.
You can see exactly, depending on how dark. And that can be converted into false color, which looks, of course...
Prettier.
Prettier. Yes. And easier to understand, though the information is essentially the same.
Which is...
that the learning takes place on the left side of the brain.
And you can see.
And there's another version you can do where you stain the sample with silver salts, and then you can count the new number of spines on the dendrites, which are...
little tiny...
Because at that degree of magnification, a thumbnail would be 250 meters wide.
So you can see the memories.
Yes. See the actual changes.
See what the chick learned about the bee.
Father Christmas lands the sleigh on the roof and comes down the chimney with his big sack of toys. And he'll put presents in your stockings. Say hello. Say hello.
She lost 2 pounds. I thought he left her. There he was, coming out of the club with an unnamed blonde.
Program starts at 6:40, or we could...
Is an irrational number real?
It's real to me.
But can there be an irrational number of oranges?
Not as things stand. No.
I'm not comfortable with the whole idea.
There was someone in Greek times called Hippasus who found out about the diagonal of a square. But then they drowned him because people didn't want to know about things like that.
Things like what?
Numbers that make you uncomfortable and don't relate to oranges.
I can see why they might want to do that.
Drown him.
Well, maybe he should have kept quiet about it if he knew they couldn't stand it.
Is that what you do?
I don't know if I should tell you. What? But you are my friend more than she is. What is it? What do you think yourself? Is it better to know things or not to know things? Is it better to leave things the way they are? The way you think they are, really, because if someone tells you something, that might change everything. And do you want that? Do you think it's interfering? Or is it what a friend ought to do? You're going to have to tell me now. You know that? But some people say you shouldn't say anything because you might not want to hear anything against your best friend, but I do keep seeing them together. And last night, after work, I went for a drink with her and he just sort of turned up. And after a while, they left together. I hardly bothered to come up with the story, but I just wondered. I'm sorry, I shouldn't be putting ideas into your head because it may be perfectly all right. Oh dear. I've told you now. They're having an affair. They are. You knew that. you know that? I've known that quite a while. How long? 3 years. And you're okay with it? Yes. It's all okay. Thanks, though.
It's a message.
Killing people.
Yes. Because then they understand.
Killing yourself.
They understand what you're telling them.
But they don't, do they? They just...
Because the deaths show how important it is.
No. They just say you're a terrorist or...
And the terror is a message.
But they don't get it, do they? They just pass laws and lock people up.
If enough people did it because they don't really feel terror, do they? They don't live in terror. If they lived in terror, they'd be getting the message.
Would you do it yourself?
I don't think I would. No.
Because you're scared?
Because I don't think that message is what I want to say.
Well, Mum's out.
What?
I've got something to tell you.
Okay.
So I need you to look at me.
I'm listening.
I need to feel like you're really paying attention.
I can pay attention and do other things at the same time. I'm not brain dead. I can see and hear and everything.
Will you listen?
I'm listening. Fuck off. Is this going to take long?
Don't pay attention then. You might like to know. Mum's not your mother. I'm your mother. Mom's your nan, okay? Did you listen to that?
Does Mom know you're telling me?
I just decided.
Are we going to tell her you told me?
I don't know. Do you think?
Why hasn't she told me before? She doesn't want me to know. She's gonna go crazy.
It'll be okay.
It's not my fault. She can't blame me for knowing.
It'll be okay. I'll tell her I told you. It's my fault.
How old were you? Wait. You were 13. 13.
13.
Yes, that's why.
Probably better than not being born.
That's what I thought. I thought you might like to be born.
Who's my dad then?
I didn't see him anymore. He went to a different school. He was 12.
I don't think I feel like you're my mum. I don't have a sister. I don't like that. Do you want me to feel differently about you?
I just didn't want it to be something that I could never say.
I'd like it if things could go on as they were.
You mean not tell Mum?
Do we have to?
But then you'd have something you could never say.
Oh, I have a stomach ache.
I don't care if she goes crazy.
As long as it's you she's going crazy at.
I can tell her to leave you alone because I'm your mum.
I don't think that works.
You shouldn't fire people by email.
You can't come bursting in here and shouting.
I'm just saying, it needs to be face to face.
I'm sorry, I do appreciate, but I'm rather busy at the moment. If you could just...
I need to be looked in the eye, and you say you're firing me.
Redundancy isn't...
Just say it to my face. You're fired. Just say it. You're a coward. You can't say it.
Why don't you speak to my PA and make an appointment?
Just say it. You're fired. Just say it.
What did you do that for?
I thought.
What do you think is going to happen to you now?
I know. But
And to me? And the children? Did you think about that?
it seemed like the right thing to do.
So we have to change who we are and go live somewhere else.
I didn't say.
And you'll be a protected witness. And all of our lives will be living in fear in some mobile home in a desert in America.
I didn't say who I was. I just made the phone call.
From your own phone?
No, of course not from my own phone. That's stupid.
Well, you are, but okay. From a public?
Yes, of course.
But near here. Like the high street.
No. I took a train.
You took a train? When?
Today. To make the call. I went to Brighton.
Why Brighton?
I don't know. Somewhere you can go quickly on a train.
So you didn't go to work? You didn't go to work, and you could have collected the kids from school.
I was in Brighton.
I'd like a day out in Brighton.
It wasn't a day out in Brighton. I made the call on a public phone in Brighton. I had a coffee and got the train back.
And what did you say?
I just gave them the name. I said this is who you want in connection with. No, I won't give my name, thank you. Goodbye. That's all.
What if they know the call came from Brighton? They could figure out who knew him and who went to Brighton.
They're not going to do that. They don't need to know who I am. They just need to know who to look at.
What if he finds out you went to Brighton?
But he's not going to know what I did in Brighton.
You can't be sure of that. What if he's got a mate in the police? Who got a tip it was you? And that the call came from Brighton? And then someone else saw you on the train to go to Brighton?
How likely is that? Why would he have a mate in the police? Of course he doesn't have a mate in the police. Do I have a mate in the police? You are making a whole thing up. It's not even going to happen.
I just don't see why you had to do it.
It wasn't very nice what he did. Was it?
He's a friend of yours.
He's not a friend of mine.
Oh, he's not now. He doesn't know he's not now. What if you see him? What if I see him? What if he comes round here saying the police are onto me? What do I do? Can you help me?
You're making things up again.
No, I'm not.
Doctor, before I go, can you tell me how long I've got?
There is no exact answer to that.
I'd be grateful if you could give me an idea.
Well, let me say that 10% of people with this condition are still alive after 3 years.
That's helpful. Thank you.
Fountain of antimatter in the Milky Way that nobody knew.
Chicken tikka masala.
Chicken tikka masala.
Chicken tikka masala.
Seven sevens are 49. 7 8s are 56. 7 9s are 63. 7 10s are 70. 7 11s are 77. 7 12s are 84. And 7 13s are 91.
I had this dream last night that I was in a garden and there were blackberries, big bushes of brambles. I was picking them, and then a butterfly flew across, and I could see this orange and black butterfly really clearly on a yellow rose. And then the whole thing was a dance, because I was at a ballet. And I looked all these things up on a website about dreams. Blackberries, butterfly, ballet. And every single one means infidelity. So now, I know she's cheating.
So you don't feel you have to be faithful to her anymore?
No. Why? Should I?
So that leaves the way clear for us then.
Don't you think?
Unless it's not about her.
Well, who then?
You. You and me.
Well, that would mean we're definitely going to do it.
So, either way.
So either way.
So, we went to war on a completely...
Yes, but how were they to know?
They did know. They knew. He'd already admitted it wasn't true.
He said it's the Germans.
And the CIA knew.
But Bush and Blair didn't know.
Didn't want to know.
They had to lie.
They wanted it to be true.
They thought it was true. Everyone thought.
Not everyone. Plenty of people. I didn't. I always knew it wasn't true.
You couldn't have known.
I always knew it was made up stuff.
And how did you know?
Because of what America's like. What it wanted to do.
You didn't know it was made up. You wanted it to be made up. I thought you wanted it to be true.
And it turns out I was right, didn't it?
Do you really think you've just won an argument?
Winner.
Once upon a time, there was a child who didn't know what fear was, and he wanted to find out. So, his friends said, "Cold shiver down your back, legs go funny, sometimes your hands, no, not your hands. Yes, your hands tingle. It's more in your head, your belly, your stomach. You shit yourself. You can't breathe. Your skin creeps. It's a shiver. It's a shudder. Do you really not know what it is? And the child said, I don't know what you mean. So they took him to a big, dark, empty house. Everyone said it was haunted. And they said, no one's ever been able to stay here till morning. You won't last till midnight. You won't last an hour. And the child said, why? What's going to happen? And they said, you'll know what we mean about being frightened. And the child said, good. That's what I want to know. So, in the morning, his friends returned, and there was the child sitting in the dusty room. And his friend said, you're still here. What happened? And the child said, there were things walking about. Dead things. Some of them didn't have heads. And a monster with glowing. And his friend said, didn't you run away? And the child said, and there were strange noises, like screams and like music, but not music. And his friend said, what did you feel? And the child said, it came right up to me and put out its hand. And his friends said, didn't your hair, your legs, the back of your neck, your stomach, weren't you frightened? And the child said, no, it's no good. I didn't feel anything. I still don't know what fear is. And on the way home, the child met a lion. And the lion ate
God told you to do it.
He did, yeah.
How?
How do you mean, how?
Did you hear words?
They came into me.
The words.
What God said.
So you didn't exactly hear?
In my heart.
So how does that work then?
I was praying about it.
In words?
Sometimes in words, sometimes just...
Silently?
The words were silent. I was praying.
In your head?
If you like. My head. My heart.
So sometimes in words, and sometimes...
And sometimes just being in a state where I was praying.
I don't know what state that is.
Well, you'll have to take it from me that there is such a state.
Okay. So there you are, praying.
Praying and not knowing, seeking guidance, open to guidance from God.
Okay.
And he told me what to do.
What's his voice like?
Firm. Kind.
He speaks English.
What sort of a question is that?
I know, but does he speak ORP or have a regional accent? I'm trying to understand what you heard.
It wasn't like hearing you, like I hear you. But it was hearing.
And he definitely said, do it.
He said, do it.
In words?
In words and inside me. Knowing it was the right thing to do.
In your heart.
Right through my whole being.
In your toes.
Yes, in my toes. Will you stop now? It takes the light 2.8 million years to get here.
So, we're looking at 2.8 million years ago.
It might not even be there. It could have died by now.
Who's gonna see that?
It might not even be people. The sun is 8 minutes.
In the morning, let's wait 8 minutes and see if it's there now.
K Uye Ixpe Igpe Atinley.
He's in the kitchen, cooking spaghetti. He's upset about the news from Tripoli.
Breathe. Just breathe. It's all right. I've got you. All right. Thank you. Sorry. I keep seeing. I can see. I can't stop seeing. I wish I could make it stop for you.
Short of smashing in my skull.
They say time, you may be able to forget. Even if it's a long time.
Once it's in there. Once you know that stuff.
I did tell you. You didn't. Yes, I said Wednesday we're going for dinner with, but you didn't. Yes, because I remember, because you said.
Okay. I'm sorry. I must have forgotten.
Yes, you did.
I'm sorry.
I'm glad we did it. Just to see.
So am I.
After all these years.
Because it was very important at the time. It's been very important.
It has for me. All my life. Very important.
So, to have never seen each other again would have been...
It would have been impossible.
Would have been sad, anyway.
Do you remember the Italian restaurant?
No. Yes. On the corner, was it?
With the bushes outside.
Oh, I'm mixing it up with...
I can see the waiter now.
No, I can't get the waiter.
The waiter with the moustache, who always smiled at us when we came in.
I had spaghetti carbonara. And you had the ravioli.
I can't remember eating. No. I was too busy looking at you, probably.
I really loved you then.
I loved you.
I'll always remember you standing in that field. I wonder where that was. Was it? All the buttercups.
I've got a really clear picture of you running down the street ahead of me. We were running for a bus, I think.
Do you remember the hotel? Got a room for a couple hours in a hotel. It was that green wallpaper. We just stood there kissing.
I remember the first time.
No. It's been overlaid by so many other times. Can't. I remember once by a river. Practically on a public footpath.
The kitchen. The kitchen in your friend's house.
Which friend?
I never knew your friends' names. Was it Chris? Terry? I don't know. You remember the kitchen?
Might, if I knew which house. Did I do it in the kitchen?
Behind the door. There was soup on the cooker.
I remember us just looking at each other.
The time in the street. We just stopped.
I was thinking more the time we were sitting on the side of the bed.
Was it early on or near the end?
Near the end, I think. Do you know the time I mean?
I sometimes go past that coffee shop.
Which one?
The one we kept trying to say goodbye.
You know, I think I've bladdered that whole day out.
We were really happy.
Or sad. We used to cry.
Did we?
Sometimes.
What did you have for lunch on October the 3rd, 2014?
Chicken soup and a salad. I was at home. I had the chicken soup in a blue bowl, and the salad had lettuce, tomatoes, and chicory, but no onions, because I didn't want my breath to smell of onions when I went to the cinema with my brother in the afternoon. The movie was at 2:15.
What was the movie?
Godzilla.
And what happened in it?
You want the whole thing. Shot by shot.
Can you do that?
Let's not do that.
Okay. Well, I remember Godzilla. It's about a lizard who gets irradiated by a nuclear explosion.
So it's a monster. Then it goes to New York.
And the American military drops bombs on it.
That's the one.
What did you do afterwards?
We walked back to my brother's place and had poached eggs on toast. I had 2 cups of tea. From the red mug. The one with the chip in it.
What was the weather like?
Rain in the morning, but it cleared up. Rain in the evening. Rain the next morning.
June the 6th, 2020.
This is Jennifer.
Hello, Jennifer.
This is the piano. You can play it.
I've never played the piano before.
You sit here.
Hello?
This is Jennifer.
Hello, Jennifer.
This is the bit?
This is the funny bit. What?
Where he spills.
It gets me every time.
I know.
And look the sweet.
Oh.
And wasn't she little then?
Just a tiny girl in her little pink.
And now, my God, you should see. And her boyfriend.
Have you met him? He is the most.
There's that woman.
We never knew who she was.
Yeah, she's there in the video. But who invited her?
Someone who just goes to strangers' weddings.
There she is talking to. Who's that? That's uncle of yours, is it? No.
And the dresses. I mean,
Because now you wouldn't dream. It shows you it's history.
And the children love it because.
And the grandchildren.
And it can go down in the family and they can see.
All the ones of them as babies in the middle.
And all the ones of their weddings and of their.
but it's sad that we haven't got our grandparents' wedding videos.
Oh, great.
Or anybody that ever lived videos of
Henry VIII. Jesus, walking on the.
Or further back, if we had cave, if we had Neanderthal.
And dinosaurs.
But who would be holding the camera?
and tiny specks.
Oh, then we know. We know.
We could keep.
We know what.
Because I don't remember any of this without the video. I wouldn't remember hardly anything about it at all. Because I can't remember anything about that day that's not on the video. Not clearly.
I can remember putting the rings.
See that in my mind's.
And someone was sick.
Oh, look, it's the speeches now. Look at Dad's speech. Again.
Hi. Hi, Sophia. Hello.
She's just like, what is happening here?
She's just so confused.
We love you.
We love you a lot.
Oh, look at her.
Oh.
I can't wait to try her. Oh my goodness. But you don't shake.
You don't know where I put my car keys.
Oh.
No.
No.
No idea, mate.
No, sorry.
It's fine.
It used to be just pain.
The memories of what happened to you when you were a child.
And the things I wasn't letting myself remember, of course.
The things you'd...
Yes. And now...
So,
The analysis has stopped it hurting.
Not stop so much as
what?
Changed it into.
Changed it into.
Transformed it. Into what, though? It has meaning.
Because you see where it comes from.
Partly that. And how it's affected the way you are. Partly that.
And partly what?
It just has meaning. Now. But what does it mean? Oh, it doesn't mean something else. There's not exactly another thing that it means.
Then what do you mean when you say it has meaning now?
You spoil it! You completely spoil everything. You always do. That must be painful for you. Why don't you take it to your analyst and have it turned into meaning?
What sex evolved to do is get information from two sets of genes. That way, your offspring isn't identical to you. Otherwise, you just keep getting the same thing over and over again. Like Hydra or a starfish. So, sex is essentially information.
You don't think that while we're doing it, do you?
It doesn't hurt to know it. Information and also love.
If you're lucky.
Rubber ducky, you're the one. You make bath time lots of fun. Rubber ducky, I'm awfully fond of you. Bo-bo-bo-deo, rubber ducky, joy of joy.
I don't want to spend another evening with them again.
You like them? You like her?
He will keep making his point that maths doesn't correspond to reality. And it's just a system our brains developed as we evolved in the world. And we have had that argument.
Whereas maths is really true.
Yes.
Which is why, if an equation wouldn't work without there being an infinite number of universes, then there really must be an infinite number of universes.
That sort of thing.
But we only have our senses to perceive with, don't we? Maybe there's some things that we just haven't learned to perceive yet. Like an earthworm can't know about flying. Or a bird can't know about computers.
Don't let's have this conversation.
Why not go and see them and keep off the topic?
Because he won't keep off the topic. He likes making me angry. Because he fancies you. Nobody knows what we're talking about. And the evening is ruined, and we all get drunk, and I feel like shit in the morning and I can't work.
Are you saying you never want to see them again?
He keeps saying, maths is only consistent with itself. It doesn't mean anything.
What does it mean then?
All right. We'll go and see them.
She fancies you, you know.
Rubber ducky, you're the one. You make bath time lots of fun. Rubber ducky, I'm awfully fond of you.
How many languages do you know?
To speak fluently?
Or a bit?
Well, some languages I only know a few words, while others...
Take something like a table. Take a table. How many languages do you...
Table, table, trapezi, stol, mesa, mesa, tarang, tabulka.
That's so fantastic. Tabulka, meza, they all mean table.
They all mean the same thing as each other.
Table.
Table means the same thing.
Yes, they all mean table.
Or they all mean meza.
Oh, you mean Chinese.
Or in fact, Swahili.
I can't help but feel it actually is a table.
It's just a rash.
But why? Why a rash?
There's all sorts of animals and detergents and stuff like that in the air. Shall we have him test it?
He's trying to tell us something.
Oh, come on.
Or maybe he's not trying to tell us something.
Did she get the new cream?
You can't have children.
No.
You can't have children.
No.
How'd you find that out?
when we were married, I had tests, and it was me.
So was that why?
No. Of course not.
I thought it was because she went off with the Spaniard.
She did.
She's got a baby now, hasn't she? She and the Spaniard have got a bambino.
So it makes a difference. Does it?
God gives your life meaning. You've said that. Yeah. So if there was no God, there'd be no meaning to your existence. And so does God have a higher God that gives his existence meaning? And that God have a higher God? No, of course not. Of course not. So all this stuff he's done, he might find it all a bit meaningless. I'm surprised he's not depressed.
I don't think he minds whether he means anything or not. I don't think he thinks about it.
So why do you think about it?
I'm not God, am I?
Well, I don't mind not meaning anything. Does that make me God?
No, that makes you really annoying.
We could go for a walk. It's a beautiful walk.
A glass of red. Or...
And he only has 2 months left to live, so I thought we could.
I'm frightened.
Just walk instead of driving. And don't take so many hot baths.
I'm frightened for the children.
There were those emails, those scientists. I don't remember the detail.
No, it didn't make any difference in the end.
No, I suppose you're right. Most scientists would agree it's a catastrophe. The question is, how big of a catastrophe?
It's whether they drown or they starve or get killed in the fight for water.
I'd choose drowning.
Are you really not going to take it seriously?
I don't know how to.
I don't know how to.
You have to say you're sorry.
I'm not sorry.
You know you hurt him. You have to say it.
I don't feel sorry.
You have to say you're sorry.
But I am your wife.
You look like my wife.
That's because I am. Look. Even that little birthmark behind my ear. Look.
Yes. I see it.
It's me, darling sweet. I'm here.
No. She's gone. They've all gone.
Who's gone?
Everyone I know. Everyone who loved me.
No. I love you.
I don't want you to love me. I don't know you.
There are things only we know. Aren't there? That day on the beach with the shells. Do you remember that?
Yes. Of course.
And cabbages. Why is cabbages a funny word? We're the only ones who have cabbages as a joke because of what happened with the cabbages. Cabbages is a joke, yes?
Cabbages was a joke I shared with my wife. I miss my wife.
But I am. If only I could touch you. If you could see what it feels like to touch me. If we made love, you'd know it was me because there are things we like to do and no one else would know that. If I was a stranger pretending to be her, I wouldn't know these things. You'd feel you were back with me. I know you would. Please.
You disgust me. Rise to me. What are you?
I've written down all the reasons to leave the country. And all the reasons to stay.
And how does that work out?
There's things on both sides.
How do you feel about it, though?
No, I'm trying to make a rational decision based on facts.
Do you want me to decide for you?
Based on what? Facts don't add up.
I'd rather you stayed. Does that help?
Did you see the earthquake? My God, you'd think things are solid, but they just break.
Yes, I've seen it.
Imagine being in it. Imagine you're lying on your back and there's this wall a few inches above your face and you can't sit up even an inch because if you do, it might come down on you. Imagine trying to take a deep breath, but you can't breathe deeply enough because pretty soon there's going to be no more oxygen. And what if you're in pain? What if you're injured while all this is going on? And where are your family? Are they dead or in agony? And is anybody coming to get you? And how many days or hours? I'm just so upset by it all.
I wouldn't want to be in it, obviously. Poor them, of course. I mean, I do know about it.
You don't care, though.
I can't say I really feel it. No. You really feel it.
I cried. Of course I feel it. I cried.
Okay.
Imagine hearing the wave coming. Imagine trying to run away and you can't get away. It came so fast. Did you see how fast it came?
Yes, I've seen it.
You're not upset, though.
The black wave with the car in it was awesome.
But what is this?
Pain is pain. It's just...
If I pinch...
No, don't get off. But if I pinch you...
Nothing.
Nothing.
At all. But stop! Because I get bruises.
How come you don't?
I never did when I was a baby.
You were born like...
And I used to chew my fingers.
You mean chew?
And they had to put bandages on them or I chewed them to the bone because you know how babies...
Put everything in their mouths.
Well, I'd put myself in my mouth because it wasn't any different.
And if you fell down?
I threw myself down.
Because it didn't hurt.
Jumped down a whole flight of stairs once because that was the quick way.
And you were all right?
Broke both my legs.
Oof.
And one time I went swimming. And there were rocks under the water. And when I came out, my legs were pumping blood because I hadn't felt.
So you really don't feel anything?
Emotions. I feel feelings.
But physical?
Not pain, no.
Why not?
Because there's no signal going up to my brain.
From your legs?
From anywhere to say there's damage, that it's hurting!
So you never really know what hurting is?
So tell me what it's like.
Hurting is... well, it's pain. It's uncomfortable, but it's more. It's something you want to move away from, but you can't. It's an intense sensation. It's hard to ignore. It's very...
But why would you mind that?
Because it hurts. But no. Sometimes pain's all right. Like if your gum's sore and you keep poking your tongue at it, or you might cut your finger and not notice. Yes, if they're doing something exciting, soldiers, they can lose a leg and not even know.
That's like me!
But they know it afterwards. And bad pain.
Yes. What is it?
If someone's being tortured, they give them electric shocks and it's unbearable! Or sometimes, if they've got cancer, they want to die. Because my uncle...
Yes. But I still don't know what it is about pain.
It's just pain.
But what is it?
You've been unhappy.
Yes.
If someone you love doesn't love you, you thought they loved you, but they don't.
Yes.
Or you've done something you wish you hadn't done, and you've hurt someone, and it's too late now. There's nothing you can do to take it back.
Yes.
Does that help?
So, it's like being unhappy, but in your leg.
But it's also just what it is. Like, red is red, and blue is blue.
But red's not red. It's waves and it's red to us.
So there you go. That's what it's like.
Can I pinch you again?
Thinking of taking one of the kittens. Oh. There's a ginger one, or
What's the sound of one hand clapping? I've heard that one.
the difficulty of getting the Israelis and the Palestinians to
The girl waits by the door of her house on the mountain.
What it literally says is mountain, girl, or
So maybe
there's a girl from the mountain waiting outside my door. A girl climbs the mountain and comes to a door.
to get the girl, you have to go through a door into the mountain.
A mountain is a door only a girl can open.
The girl is as big as a mountain and can't get through the door.
What's the next line?
She's got a special stone.
Is that what she's holding?
Yes. She's always got it in her hand.
I know she's always holding.
Never puts it down.
Have you seen it?
Saw it once.
How?
Made her open her...
Shall we get it?
I think she needs it.
Yes. Shall we get it?
Come and get it then.
It's over here.
Will she know which one?
She can get another one.
She might want that one.
Shall we give her one?
Here, have a stone.
Have a stone.
Have another stone.
Oh.
My God, look at that flower. Thank you so much. Have you ever seen such red? Red is blood and bullfights, and seeing red is anger, but red is joyful. Red is celebration.
Yes, I like it.
In China, red is lucky. How lucky are we to have red flowers?
Shall I get a vase?
In China, white is death. And here, black is death. But ghosts are white, of course. Does that make a chessboard death against death? Blood, of course, could be death. But it's lifeblood, isn't it? If you look at the flowers, they're so astounding.
Yes.
It means so much to me that you got me red flowers because red is so significant, don't you think? It means stop. But of course it means go because red is the color of energy. Red cars have the most accidents because people are excited by red. Or people who are already excited like to have red. I'd like to have red. I'll get us a red car this afternoon and we'll go for a drive. We can go through the whole country, don't you think? We can go to Scotland, we can go to John O'Groats. Did he eat a lot of porridge, do you think? We don't have to start at Land's End or Land's Beginning. We should say if we start from there, but we won't. We'll start from here. Because here is always the place that you start from. Isn't that funny? And we'll have to drive along all the roads because I have to see to the traffic. Because as you know, there are far too many cars on the road. But ours won't be one too many. You'll be quite safe. We'll make sure everything's flowing smoothly in every direction possible because cars do go in every direction possible. And everything goes in every possible direction. So we'll find a vase for the flowers.
Yes.
I think a green vase because of the primary colours. And if it was blue, I'd put it in an orange vase. And if it was yellow, I'd put it in a purple vase. And yellow and purple is Easter, of course. And red and green is Christmas, which isn't right now. It's the wrong season. I might have to look at that when I've got a minute.
I don't care what you say.
No, but listen.
I've never felt like this.
It's not the point. What you feel.
It's the only.
Because she doesn't exist.
I'm not listening.
She doesn't.
Now, have you seen her?
Yeah, I've seen her. But she doesn't.
Well, have you talked to her?
I don't want to talk to.
Then what do you know about it?
She's not a real.
So?
So? You admit it. She's not.
She exists. She still exists.
Fine. All right. She exists. But so does your shoe. Or a can of...
You're saying she's no different than a shoe?
Well, she's got no more feelings then.
What you know about...
She's a thing. She's a thing.
Look, I appreciate your concern.
Look.
But just... She's beautiful. She's intelligent. She understands me.
She doesn't understand you.
She listens to me. She likes my poems.
Doesn't understand.
She's the only one who reads my mind. She's sensitive to my every...
But she's virtual.
So?
She's not.
I can't believe. Just because somebody's not flesh and blood.
She's just information.
And what are you if you're not?
Yeah, I know. We're
information. Our genes.
But she hasn't.
What?
Hasn't got an insight to her mind. She's not conscious. She can't.
How do you know she can't?
She's a computer. She's a computer game. She's not.
And can you tell that from what she said?
I don't need to.
What can you tell?
Because she can't.
She might. And how could she prove it? Because you wouldn't believe.
I certainly wouldn't.
Because she says that she has...
What? Thoughts?
Of course, thoughts. Feelings. Because she's not complicated. She says that she...
She can't possibly.
We know people won't understand. We don't care what you think.
And, what about sex?
What about?
She hasn't got a body.
She's got a fantastic...
But not a body that you can...
She's not in the country at the moment.
She can never.
And the sex is great.
It's virtual.
It's virtual. And it's great.
She can never feel.
I don't care what you say.
No. Listen.
I've never felt like this about anyone.
Are you sleeping? I wake early, but that's all right in the summer. Eating? Oh, enough. Don't fuss. I've never had someone die before. I'm sorry. I don't have anything to say. Nothing seems very interesting. He must have meant everything to you. Maybe. We'll see.
I'm just saying, you've got no choice.
I have.
You have, of course. You feel as if you have.
I have got a choice.
You've got a choice. But you've no choice about what that choice is. You'll make whichever choice.
Whichever choice I want.
Whichever choice you want, but you'll want what you want because you have to want what?
I don't have to want.
You do. Because of what you're like. That's what you're like means. It means you'll want what you want because there's your genes, there's everything that's happened to you, everything that's happening to you. And all that stuff makes your brain be like that.
Like what?
Like it is.
What's it like?
I don't know. Of course, I don't know. Nobody knows. But if someone was to have that information, they'd know exactly what you were going to.
They can't know.
You're crying about it now.
I'm not.
I knew you would.
There's random.
Oh, there's random.
Random particles.
If you think you're like a random particle.
No, but...
If you think you're like a random particle just fizzing.
But you can't even predict where.
If you think free will is a random particle, then there's nothing very noble.
Oh, I didn't say no.
Then what is free will if it's not what you're like?
No one could possibly have all that information.
No, of course not.
So maybe that's all right.
I think it's fine. But doesn't it change how you feel, don't you think?
I feel a bit funny.
Yes. You feel as if you're
hurtling through my life.
Like on the front seat of a roller coaster.
But I feel as if I'm choosing.
Yes, of course.
But I feel like I'm on the front seat of a roller coaster.
What are you looking at?
A snail?
Is that the same snail?
Yes. I've been looking at it for a while.
And?
I'm just looking at it.
Who was the president of Coca-Cola from 1925 to 7?
H.B. Jones.
What is the smallest village in Central Asia?
Cat! Where will you see a Hewish?
In a news firm.
How many diamonds were mined in 1957?
Oh! 60,428.
Name 2 traditional ingredients in a goulash.
Duck and fennel.
In 1647, what day was the Battle of Stoneham?
June the 3rd, a Tuesday.
How far is it from here to the Quasar D 66?
Oh, 3.4 billion light years?
What sound does a capercaillie make?
Who has the longest hair?
Matilda Lucas.
Oh.
Brick House, Connecticut.
What color is the caterpillar of the brown-haired bat moth?
That's the orange with black stripes.
Oh.
Do you love me?
Don't do that.
What is the formula that disproves Gödel's theorem?
Oh, X bracket A over T minus pi sigma close bracket to the power of 10 minus n to the power of minus 1 squared.
What is a pluck?
Oh, a stringed instrument played by the Lats of the Gobi Desert.
By what time do we usually by what name do we usually refer to the Oceanus Australis Picardi?
I do. Yeah, I do.
C. Avenoni?
Enemy!